Greetings, my dears, in love and light. Ways that twin flames are great together, but... Now what's that but? The thing about twin flames is that they are an absolute match for each other. But there's a but. Sometimes there's negativities that can arise, and I'll explain why. Now, the thing about twin flames is that they're supposed to be a sort of a split incarnation of a soul. It's like two incarnations of you together alive at one time. So it's not the same personality, because in every lifetime you have a different personality or a different person. Although there's underlying similarities, you're coming from the same higher self. But you have different personalities, but your incarnations overlap and you meet. And when you do meet, and it can be quite profound. So oftentimes when you meet your twin flame, it can really hit you, because on an energetic level you feel like you really know them. It's probably because they kind of are you see. And it's worth remembering that it doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship. Sometimes twin flames can be great friends, or they can be relatives, like a father and son, a mother and daughter, something like that. But for the purpose of this video, we're talking about twin flames, that when they meet each other, they hit it off and they enter a relationship. So, romantic relationships for twin flames in this video. So, number one on why twin flames are great together, but is recognition and familiarity. When you first meet your twin flame, it can really hit you like a ton of bricks, I always say. And you feel very at home with them. It's like you come home. So you can feel right at home with them and really allow your authentic self to come through. You feel like you have permission to be your authentic self and anything goes. And this can be very liberating. Please see my previous video on the authentic self and ways to get there. But, and here's the but, if you're your authentic self with someone and feel you can be, but you haven't gone through the processes of healing, for example, if you have anger problems and you let that show completely, or if you have lots of insecurities and that's shown completely, and you've not worked on healing them, this is the problem with the twin flame relationship. You can really feel like you can be yourself, but if you haven't gone through healing and balancing and looking at yourself and your traumas you've experienced and working on your, for example, excess negative emotional problems, then it can damage the relationship, because it's too much. It's too much for each other. There's too much negative emotion. So balancing and inner work needs to be done. So number one is a lot of familiarity and being able to be your authentic self, but inner work needs to be done. So number two on ways twin flames are great together, but is that there's a very strong connection, a very deep love, and therefore very intense feelings. That's a biggie about the twin flame relationship, is that there's a lot of intense feelings. It feels like fireworks. It can feel like chemistry, real amazing chemistry. Now that is wonderful. What an amazing experience that is. But when you have these deep emotions, these emotions bubbling up, again, insecurities can arise. So if you feel intensely in love with someone, and it's like they have your heart in their hands, if they hurt you, it destroys you. And so this can create a lot of insecurities, because it becomes a safety issue. Your mental well-being revolves around the other person still staying in love with you, because then it can make you worry. If they fell out of love with you, oh my God, it's going to shatter me, that kind of thing. So a lot of fear and worry and insecurities can arise from these intense emotions. Again, balancing of the self, and also good communication between each other and reassurance is key while you're still working on your inner work. Number three on ways that twin flames are great together, but is that we learn very important lessons from each other. Now, part of the point of being in this lifetime together and both incarnating together and sharing the same higher self, if you will, is so that you can learn lessons from each other. Because a relationship is like a mirror. You look to each other for how you're doing and validation and the other person's responses. So you can learn amazing lessons from each other because you're so similar and yet kind of different and very catalytic in this relationship. There's so many lessons to be learned and experiences to be had. However, but they will show you a lot about yourself that you may not have realised, and you will realise a lot about yourself. It can be quite a tough mirror to look into, actually. So there's a big but for you. So we learn important lessons. That's number 3. We learn important lessons from our twin flame. Okay. Number 4 on ways twin flames are great together, but is that we can be light workers here on a mission together, and that's fantastic. We could have incarnated here, 2 incarnations of one soul here at once, so we can double our efforts. A lot of light working to be done, a lot of raising the vibration. We can team up. What an amazing team we'll be for aiding this planetary illusion, breaking free of its chains. We won't go into that right now. But still, there's 2 different personalities with 2 different sets of wants and needs, and it's really worth remembering that. You're not the exact same personality. The higher self does not incarnate the same personality in every incarnation because it wants new experiences. And you've evolved at the end of one lifetime and into another. You see how there's time paradoxes. It is like a past life. One twin flame's like the past life of another, but because there's paradoxical time thing, they're in the same time frame together. How weird is that? But anyway, you are different people. It's worth remembering that. So you will have different wants and needs. But again, communication, allowances, nobody's perfect. So number 4 on why twin flames are great together, but is that we can balance each other out. Now, as I said, twin flames, they can be quite different in personality, but there's this sort of underlying similarity. And one major reason that you've incarnated together might be is so that it's like a yin and a yang. You balance each other out and learn those lessons. So, for example, one twin flame might be quite adventurous and the other one quite cautious. You might have spontaneous and a planner. You might have someone who's messy and someone who's tidy. So we're learning lessons from each other and balancing each other out. The tidy one helps the messy one be more tidy, and the messy one helps the tidy one not care so much. So we're learning lessons, aren't we? But again, we need to watch for disagreements, because in this balancing out, we don't want to fight about it. Again, it's acceptance of each other. Okay, I accept they're a bit messy. I can deal with that, but what can I learn from that? What can I learn from that? Obviously, you have boundaries. You don't want to have someone who's trashing your house. But what can I learn from that? So watch for those disagreements, but wonderful balancing out opportunities there for twin flames. Number 6 on why twin flames are great together, but is that you can become quite psychic. The more time you spend together, the more you become in energetic alignment, and the more you can sort of read each other's minds, and everything becomes aligned. You become a bit telepathic. You have ideas at the same time and become empathic too. You know what each other is feeling. But if there are resentments building up in that relationship, they can be easily felt. They can't be hidden. So if you are building up resentments or having issues with each other, they will be felt on a subconscious level, and this will create funny negative emotions. So again, the key here is communication. So number 6 is you can easily become very psychically aligned with each other, but then those hidden resentments aren't hidden. You start to feel them. So good communication. And number 7 on why twin flames are great together, but is that we feel one with the other twin flame, like you're not sure where they end and you begin. So you can work as a team, you work as a unit, as I said, you can work really well together towards common aims. If your twin flame though, here's the but, if your twin flame has to go away on work or needs to go away for any reason, it can be hard to function without them. So the key there is to make sure you don't become too codependent on them for your emotional well-being. So number 7 is you work well as a team, but don't become too codependent on them for your happiness. So if they're not there, they have to go away for a bit. You don't fall apart, isn't it? So now the thing with twin flames is that it's a very exhilarating experience. There can be a lot of emotions and a lot of chemistry and can be very passionate experience indeed. But remember, good communication and listening is key. Understanding of each other, being very patient with each other because you do have those personality differences. Let go and learn the lessons that relationship brings and enjoy. So leave me and others a comment how you feel with your twin flame, or if you're still searching for yours. I'll do a video on that soon. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.